Hey there, everybody. This is Richard Guerrero with SkAiL Evolution, and today we have a presentation on Gemini, and it's going to be really brief and to the point, and so we don't want to waste much of your time. So we have things to do and places to be. So you want to introduce yourself there, Dee?
Sure. My name is Dee Harris, she, her pronouns. And we're going to go ahead and show you some different ways that if you live in the Google suite, Google's AI product Gemini could be of use to you. Let's go ahead and let me share my screen. There you are. Can you see my slide?
No, I'm looking at you right now.
Great.
You know what I can do here, Dee? Okay. Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah. All right. So what we're going to talk about is how you use Gemini. Gemini can actually be used very similarly to ChatGPT, but it does have some other ways to, let's see, there we go. It does have some other ways that it can be useful. You can use Gemini to draft Google Docs, a PowerPoint, a proposal or a service that you want to offer someone. And literally by utilizing Google Gemini, very similar to the way that you use ChatGPT, you give it a prompt, ask it a question in your natural language, and let it know that the output that you are trying to get, and then it will absolutely go ahead and begin the processes of creating that. The best thing that I specifically like about utilizing Google Gemini is if I want to create a slide deck or I need to use an Excel spreadsheet to show percentages and numbers. Literally, I can take Google Gemini, speak into it with a natural language, update some documents, and then output what it is. And then it will automatically save to my drive without having to use any API keys from Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity, or anything like that. What you really want to look at is you really want to catch the bias for the systems. You want to make sure that when you are talking to it, that it doesn't default to a particular clientele or pricing norms, or even voices if you want to use any of the voice options that they have available. For instance, when you type in something, when you type in a professional entrepreneur, usually the bias denotes a white older male because that's the norm. That's usually the norm, in air quotes, for what a professional entrepreneur will look like. And so you have to make sure that you understand how to train that bias out of those things, out of different spaces. You want to represent as many people as possible because we are not a monolith here. Um, yeah, own it and protect it. Add your pricing. So think about your pricing, your voice, your story. Document what you changed from the original. The paper trail is your intellectual property evidence to show that whatever the output was from any of the tools that you use, that you have gone in, this is what the output was, these are what my tweaks were. So this makes it your intellectual property. If that helps any. For folks that are educators, what we want to try and do is utilizing Gemini. If you have a Google suite of tools that you use at your day job, or if you're an educator until K through 12, asking Gemini to help like generate a lesson plan or create a rubric or a quiz based off of the topic that you have and the grade level that it has. It will go ahead and search the internet, find all the things, throw it into a space, and then you have to audit it to make sure that the information is actual and factual, that it is something that is tailored to that grade level. If you find that it is more or it is less, then go ahead and make those necessary changes. Really think about being careful what you're including in your into Google, into any of the large language models that we've talked about so far, because you want to make sure that what you give, your context, your student ideas, your particular voice as an educator, things that you use for the classroom specifically, that's what's going to be your specific IP, okay? In order to protect your work, save the original Gemini draft, document every change that you make, include your edits, because that's your intellectual work, proof what you have reviewed, make sure it doesn't have bias, and then your evidence, all of this information, create a file that has all of the changes and the versions, because if you're ever asked, you have the evidence to show that this is your intellectual property. You can turn your Google Suite into a system using Gemini. So it's not just separate apps, but it is an ecosystem. So in Gmail, you can use Gemini to extract and summarize your emails. If you have Google Suite already, you see that at the very top of your emails. Whenever you click on a particular one, this already happens automatically. It's embedded. Let's say you want to reference an email and build an analysis framework based off of the questions and all of the back and forth email between you and your client. You can actually take that referenced email summary and you can put it into Google Sheets and it will create the framework and the Excel spreadsheet, the data analytics for you. And let's say you need to give a talk about the progression of whatever it is that you're doing with your client. You can then translate all of that information into a Google slide and it will create a worksheet for you. Just FYI, this Google slide that I'm utilizing was powered through Google Gemini, okay? You can take in and put out anything you want, whatever you feel that works. Just make sure, like I said, you want to watch for bias, make sure you watch the data that you input, and be very mindful of the workflows that you give it. Bias is normally baked into templates and compounds when others use your workflow. So when you use someone else's workflow, you definitely want to make sure that the bias is taken out, okay? Your workflow is your asset. Once you customize your Google Suite workflow, you can reuse it as many times as you need to in your business system. You can document it as a playbook. You can sell it as an ebook. You check your workspace for privacy settings to make sure that your workflow is not going to be used to train the Gemini model. The enterprise domains protects your data. So just know what you're giving Google access to. So where Gemini wins, deep in Google Workspace, since you're already deep in Google Workspace already and you already have all of the suites, you get to collaborate heavily and embed your workflows. Research and summarization already happens in the workspace. Lesson planning can be very simplistic. If you're already using Google where you have students email you, parents email you, administration, anytime you look at rubrics and training and all of the information that you can dump into it, it'll be easier every beginning of the quarter, semester, whatever, to go back and look what worked, what didn't work, and then embed it where you can. Where it doesn't move very easily is it's not super creative. It's based off of what it can find on the internet. And there's no clear narrative to the work that's given, so you have to give it the context. Complex reasoning is not its strong point, and deep analysis, only analytics usually, because Google has deep Google Analytics. It's real easy to utilize those things in the suite and the tool to embed into your workflow. Be careful with sensitive clients or student data. Don't input name, student ID numbers, or anything like that of the sort. That's proprietary information that you want to keep out of the system if at all possible. And then review your final input, because your final input is not the end all be all. You are definitely going to have to tweak it. And that's with any large language model that you use. And it cannot replace your expertise and your voice. If you've been teaching for the last 15 years to eighth graders, you know through all the generations that you've taught what eighth graders find important, what their thinking level, their critical thinking abilities, all of that. So you want to make sure that your expertise stays yours and doesn't get embedded into a framework as something to train other models. And that's it. Let's see if I can stop sharing. Yay.
There you go. Well, that was great, Dee. And when I read over her slides for the first time, I was, I guess, a little bit caught off guard. I've never thought about taking the output from AI and documenting that. Yes, you created the prompt and whatever, and you took what AI gave you, and documenting those changes so that it then becomes your intellectual property. It's now you, as it were. A lot of times you just keep modifying. Okay, I don't like this, to change this, change that, and you just wind up with the final output. And if somebody were to ever call you on it and say, well, that's AI, you didn't create it, you have no way to prove that that's truly your intellectual property and not something that AI spat out.
Correct.
So that was a good point. I mean, you want to really document your intellectual property, your work, your essence, as it were, and document that this is your work. Yes, you used a tool. The tool was AI, just like old days you used Word. It's just a tool.
Right. One of the things I wanted to share really quick is there is a way to use, if with your Google Suites, there is a way to take this PowerPoint that I created, and there is a way to make it into a video using Google Suite. I'm not sure I can use it in this one. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can pull it out. No, there's not. But what you can do is you can take, let's say you created PowerPoints for whatever reason, and it went over well, but you don't want to have to constantly go over the same thing and produce or create produce the same PowerPoint every single time. What you can do is there is a way to, on the web version of Google Gemini or the Google Suite, you can take your PowerPoint and you can create it into a video. It can be an explainer video where you have different graphics, if you so choose, to talk about what it is that you have in your PowerPoint, or you can use the Google, I believe it's VEO3. It will give, or Google Flow, which is the animation, the automation, and the images using Nano Banana as well, to create like a storytelling YouTube thing, just really off of your PowerPoint. And it's pretty exciting what Google Gemini can do nowadays.
Okay, so I guess if I can find my cursor on my screen, I've got a big screen. I'll go ahead and share my screen and do my little song and dance. There we go. There's Gemini. Okay. So you should be able to Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Doing something a little bit different with multiple screens open. So, okay, so let's start. So most of you have, I've got to move something here. It's going to bother me out of the way. So most of you have heard of ChatGPT, and that was probably, for a lot of us, just like me, that was the first LLM that you started with. Maybe some of you have tried it and walked away confused, and that's fine, because guess what? Today we're not going to talk about ChatGPT, but I am going to use ChatGPT as a kind of like a reference point, because it's the tool that most people compare to Gemini. And then there's a few areas where, excuse me, Gemini flat out wins for this kind of work, especially for small business owners who um, actually do things like this every day. So today I'm going to show you how to pull live information from the web and turn it into usable content. We're going to see how it generates professional promotional copy from maybe just a rough idea you have. And third, we're going to show how it reads images and turns what it sees into something that you can actually use. Now, on purpose, I'm using the free version of Gemini. So forgive me if we have any hiccups, because I didn't want to use any credits or cycles. So we're kind of hitting it just kind of on the fly here. So let's get going. So here's something you could do every single week for your business. So let's say you're running a content series called AI Clarity Update, hint, hint, hint. And it covers what's happening in AI that actually matters to business owners, not the tech, not the hype, just the practical stuff. So every week you're going to need 5 fresh stories. Now, previously, finding them, it used to take time. You have to search the internet, and you have to go and find things, and it's just time consuming. So I'm going to copy and paste here into the prompt, the Gemini prompt here, and it just says, find me 5 trending stories for the past 7 days, and for each one, give me the title, the source, why it matters to a small business owner, and a hook that I can use for social media. So let's see what it comes up. Now, if you notice, it says searching the web. So it's pulling from live data from the web. So this is an information from 6 months ago. This is current. And that's the structural advantage Gemini has, because it runs on Google search as its infrastructure. Now, ChatGPT has a web search too, but you kind of have to use Atlas for that. So let's see what it pulled up. Microsoft unveils Scout, personal AI agent, and it's got its source, why it matters, and the social media hook. Here's another one. NVIDIA reveals RTX Spark. I have no idea what that is. But why it matters to small businesses, the hook, and I'm not going to read all of them, but here, Apple's preparing massive Siri, an AI overhaul ahead of worldwide. Well, they better get their, on track, because AI doesn't exist on Apple, and I'm an Apple fanboy, and that's I should be getting my $250 back or whatever from that lawsuit, because the AI phone I got don't have AI on it. So anyways, the point being here is you got 5 stories, you got the hook, you got the why it matters, and now what you could do is just take this output, drop it into a Notion database. I know a lot of people out there use Notion. If you don't, sign up, play with a free version. A free version gets you very far before you have to start paying. But you could feed this output into a Notion database that feeds into a content calendar for the week, and now your whole process, under 3 minutes. This is a real workflow. Okay, now I'm just going through really, really quick, but you can see, yeah.
I was going to say, what happens if you copied and paste one of these and then opened up images to create an image art for a post? Have you tried that?
No, I haven't. So you want me to copy, and then what do you want me to do?
Go to, so copy and paste, and then open up Nano Banana, which is in Gemini. It's one of these, click the...
Oops. This one?
Uh-huh. And then where it says create an image.
Oh,
yep.
I was looking for Nano Banana. Okay, describe your image. That might be a little much because we're
Well,
giving it an article. We're not actually
well,
telling
usually
it.
what I say is um, create an image that embodies this information, and then usually it will do so
Well,
even
there
better.
again.
You ain't even got
Then
to give it a prompt.
that's the non-existent AI for Apple. That's for sure.
That part. So it's stuff like that. I use Gemini specifically, the image generator, which was deemed Nano Banana years ago, but that is what it just stuck, and so everybody calls it that now. Because before ChatGPT got it together, this was the image generator to beat because it did very much realistic lifestyle type imagery.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, there are definitely things that Gemini does better, like this here. That image is pretty sweet. And there's things that I know ChatGPT seems to get downplayed a lot, but there's a lot of things it does well too. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that Claude I love Claude, but it doesn't do what we just did on the screen right now. So,
Correct.
there's pros and cons to each of it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's something very simple that you could do using Gemini. And here's the second thing. Now, you could use Gemini. So let's see. So let's take, for instance, I run live events, okay? Online sessions, in-person workshops, and every event needs a description. It needs a Facebook post. It needs LinkedIn copy. It needs promotional text. And if you have to write that from scratch every time, that's a real grind. So stop doing it. Now watch what happens when I give Gemini just kind of a rough idea and I ask it to build the copy. So I've got it written already, and I'm just pasting to save time here. But
Hold on.
it's
Right now, you're asking it to still
oh,
do images.
thank you very much. Deep. So where does the default to? Deeps? No. How do I get back then? Oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
just click the X on the images. There you go.
Okay. So now we're back. Thank you for that call, or it would have created me an image and I would have looked silly. So I have here that I'm running a small business, a session for small business using Gemini for people who have heard about it, but they haven't started using it quite yet, what they're going to walk away with. And here, write me a promotional event, the hook, and keep it under 200 words. And then, no corporate jargon, write it like a person, not like a press release. Okay. So I gave it a rough idea, but no polish, no structure. And look what came back. Now, I'm using the free version on a brand new account, so it doesn't know me. So it's asking, which do you like, choice A better or choice B better? Um, Now, what it's trying to do here, because it is a fresh account that I'm using, it's trying to learn who I am, my preferences. So I'm just going to click one. But there you go. You've got the usable event. You've got what you need. And right now, you got a rough paragraph to start with. Now, once again, just like Dee was saying, now take this and make it your own intellectual property. Modify it, tweak it, change it, make it yours. Just don't copy and paste it and say, here it is, we're done. But
I think that's one of the things that people kind of miss when they talk about utilizing AI. And they're just like, just use it, just do it and take it, and it'll give you everything that you need. But then it's no longer yours.
yeah, what I typically do is with AI is just like, down here, you can see the little microphone button. I
Hmm.
80% of the time, I'm not typing. I'm using the microphone
And that's
and I speak, and then it changes obviously my vocals into actual text so it can process it. A lot of times I just not mumble, I ramble and I debate myself. And eventually the AI is going to know you well enough that, hey, I want to be pushed. don't just give me an answer, debate the answer with me, debate my idea, tell me my idea is wrong, why that direction is not the best direction for who you are and where you want to go. And that's where I think the real benefit of AI, where it is today, comes into play. It's like your thought editor. It's a brainstorming person, somebody you can bounce ideas off of and say, how does this sound? Do you like this idea or not? And if you get far enough in your training, AI will come back and say, that's not your brand. That's not your style. You don't have that skill set. You're going to get in trouble if you go down that path. So that's where the real advantage is. In the past, when I used to write proposals and stuff, and I'd have somebody proof it, my spouse, they would sit down and proof it, and I would have to explain why I wrote it this way or I wrote it that way. Well, now I have AI. I'm not saying AI replaces your spouse. Please, wife, don't misinterpret what I just said. But it's very helpful to have that intelligent entity that you can bounce your ideas off of, that you can bounce your IP off of and say, does this make sense? Okay, so today I promise to keep this really short, but give it an idea, it'll write it for you. Are we there yet? Yeah, okay. So I want to jump to images, because when I started to write out what to talk about today, I had this as an idea, but let's see if I can. Google Lens technology. So one of the things that Gemini has is Google Lens technology. It does a lot better job at reading images, understanding images. So we're going to take a photo that I took on my cell phone this morning. I was having coffee. So we're just going to drop that in. And can I double click on it? Yep. Okay. So it's a little miffed, but it's my Seahawks coffee mug, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it and everything. So, and that's the point. So my prompt, let me copy and paste because I got big fingers and I'll typo. So what do you see in this image? Extract any text and tell me what this is about. Now it's a coffee mug, and I did it on purpose, but this could be of a building. It could be of a statue. It could be of a piece of art. And here it goes. Did you see how quick it sucked in the image and extracted the text and what it's about? It's an NFL fan merchandise celebrating the Seattle Seahawks, yada, yada, yada. But what I was impressed with was how freaking fast it was. Okay, so not to be too promotional, but we're going to try this because this mug is custom made and doesn't exist on the internet. So let's find out if it understands that. It is taking a lot longer.
And still found it.
Okay, color scheme, graphics, extracted. The mug appears to be a custom corporate swag promotional merchandise for a tech consulting or AI focused company. Now SkAiL Evolution, so it knows who SkAiL Evolution is, because nowhere on the coffee mug does it say this is a tech consulting AI focused company. So, oh, look at this. It even caught on the capitalization of AI in the middle, SkAiL, combine that vision centered around artificial intelligence development, tech, scaling, digital transformation solutions. So that was just from a picture. And I guarantee you that picture does not exist on the internet because these were custom made bugs just from a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to skip the business card because I have other things that I want to get to after this meeting, being blunt. Here's a flyer for a class that I'm doing, in-person class in August. And as you can see, my thumb's on there. So I literally printed this out and held it. So let's see, I think I still have it pasted. Run the same prompt. What is it? Now I'm curious to see how long this is going to take. Okay,
Not long at all.
Okay, banner, free class, curious, when. It extracted everything. Now, I could have very well, I'm being honest, have uploaded the PDF because I did create this, but I wanted a picture to see. And it had the bio, what is the flyers and advertisement, of course, by a tech veteran, Richard Guerrero, founder of SkAiL Evolution, the company inside promotional. Oh, look, the company tied to the promotional mug you shared earlier. That's
nice. You know what this would be good for? When people see different stuff online and they're wondering if the images are real and what they're about, or if they're fake, doing the research, this would be a good way to help folks find out if images that they see that they may want to share, like on social media or whatnot, is real or not, and what it's from.
Yeah. Basically find out if you've been scooped, if, president of some organization is pregnant or not, because the president's male. Obviously, that's you see a lot of things that they're is created by AI, because it's like there's no way that happened, but it looks so real. It's like the first time you saw the Transformer movie, it looked real, but you knew it wasn't. So, but that would be a good way of validating whether that's a real image or not. So that's a good point. So I'm gonna continue, because I'd like to finish up here with this, going one another level, saying, based on what you see in this image, write me a 3-sentence that's, instead of uploading, I'm going to change C to saw. Based on what you saw in
the previous image,
in the last image, write me a 3-sentence Facebook post promoting this. Let's see what happens.
Nice.
There you go. It just took what was already on the flyer, digested it, and spat out a very simple Facebook post. Because a lot of times writing marketing stuff, promotion, social media posts, what you want to do, you just don't know how to get there. You have all the information, you just don't know how to put it out in such a way that it's sweet, short, straight to the point, and that people will understand it. So photo to Facebook, so you could upload an image, maybe it's your product. Okay, let me get over here,
or
I'm gonna stop sharing.
I was gonna say, if you take that 3-sentence description that I gave you, and then put it back in, asking it to create an image to see what it gives for the social media post that goes with it.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, let's go ahead and screen share that again, because that makes too much sense. There we go. Is that up there? So so from the description below, create for me an image that would go with this post to promote the event. Does that sound good?
Yep. And then copy and paste it.
Oops.
There you go.
And so what I will go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, and then if you do stuff like this, have a URL And every time you want to, like what the initial was, give me 5 news things. Nice. Give me 5 news things in the past 7 days that I could talk about regarding AI. You can create a post, you can create an image for that post. And if you want, without tweaks, if that's what you want to do, you can put it out there, but you are responsible for what you post. So make little tweaks if you want to or if you can. And then ta-da, you can put that in an Excel spreadsheet and that becomes a workflow in your Google Suite. Done. Also, I like this image.
There we go. I was on mute. Sorry. I want to point out that what I really like about what we just did, what Dee told me to do, I listen to her often, how fast it created the image. Now, you could do the same thing, what we did here with ChatGPT. The image rendering on ChatGPT, to me anyways, seems to take a lot longer. The other thing is the text in the image we just created, real quick, up. So it's 98% correct. I don't know if my highlight will come in here, but as where the guy was with his tablet and it says, meet your instructor, Richard Guerrero, founder of SkAiL Evolution, as seen in image 0.
So it probably expected you to upload an image with the thing and it would have put your image in, but here nor there, you can always tweak it.
And I guarantee you that had I done this in ChatGPT, it would have screwed up the spelling of SkAiL Evolution. There would have been 10 times more spelling mistakes, problems. It wouldn't have been just that one mistake. So I'm impressed, to be blunt. Okay. So the bottom line here is, you can upload something and Google Lens technology, you can upload an image and Google Lens technology, it works really well. Now, like I said, ChatGPT can read the images too, but Gemini's visual intelligence, here, let me stop this. Gemini's visual intelligence, it's just faster and it's more accurate, especially on real world content because of that Google Lens foundation underneath. So the bottom line is, I gave very quickly 3 real simple things that Gemini does well and why it matters to you, especially if you're a business owner. One pulls live information and turns it into content. And right now content, relevant content that you're pulling from the internet, not training from a data set that's a month old. The second thing we did was generated professional copy from rough ideas so that you could create events, posts. You could even tweak it, say, create me 5 emails, give it a direction and it builds the draft. And key point here, it's a draft. Don't just copy and paste. And the last thing, we really went over just real quickly how Gemini reads images very well. It understands it and how it can then create context from those images from what it sees. Take a photo of anything in your business and ask it what to do with it. Ask it what did I just take a picture of? What should I do with this thing that's in the image? Now, I also want to point out everything I did with you and showed you, it was all on a free Gemini account. It was not a paid account. So you can do the exact same thing. Nothing's required to start. You can just go to the free gemini.google.com. And I don't even think you need to create an account. I did. Just sign in with a Google account. If you have one, you can get more features. And if you like what it does and you want to do more of it, because eventually it will say, hey, hold, yep, that's it for your free credits. Then you can go to the paid version and it's also $20 a month, just like all the rest of them these days. But I will say if you're already living in Google and you have Gmails or you're using Google Docs and Google Drive, it's a non-brainer. Just pay the $20 and
That
start
part.
get the paid version and utilize it.
And imagine what you can do if that was just the free version. Imagine what you can do with the paid version and linking up all of your Google Suite tools together.
Yep.
It's a whole ecosystem that if you chose not to go outside of Google, you don't have to. And each of the large language models are creating ways to keep folks into their specific ecosystem.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, none of these companies are making money off of you for $20 a month. Sorry, it may sound like a lot of money to some of you, especially when you're paying 20 here, 20 here, 20 here, and
Word.
tools, and all of a sudden you get your credit card bill and it's like, wait, I'm paying $150 a month for what?
Try 350 all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah, 350.
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, and we're not even talking about co-work or
Yeah.
having Claude, the take over your system, because I want to do it, but at the same time, I know if I start doing it, I'm going to wind up paying $200 a month, and yeah, I don't think my wife is going to be happy with that. So
What we'll do is let's do another workshop where you start to build that, because I've done it, and we'll talk about the different files, like how to file name it, what you're giving it access to, what opportunities and stuff like that. So then that way it doesn't have, people have been giving it access to their whole
computer rather than just a folder. Yeah,
and you don't want to
that's
do
the
that
problem.
because there are ways that they have shown through Manus that there's back doors that people can get into use security-wise your system. So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen.
So my fear is that one day it will just barf, or I'll say something wrong and it'll just purge everything in that folder.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why you don't want to give it access to your entire hard drive directory. Just give it access to a single folder and be done with it.
And Google has a way to do the same in Google Drive. You can create a specific Google Drive that you want certain things in, and you can allow it to do work on your system, accessing certain drives and certain folders, to then, when it creates and gives you the output, like that video that we just created, I mean, that image that we just created, that's an output. You can take that output and then you can suggest if it's linked to your social media through your Gmail, then you can have it go immediately put that stuff on your social media and post it for you whenever you want to. So it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up here, but I just want to make sure before we leave that everybody knows, if you're wanting to get deeper into this, we get people asking, hey, Richard, hey, Dee, where can I learn more about this? So we invite you to go to our website, SkAiLevolution.com, and just click on the AI Clarity Hub. Now, this is where we keep a running list of what we're doing next, either online or in person. So we just did Gemini today. Next month, on July 19th, we have Claude, and that I'm very excited about because I use Claude almost on a daily basis, and there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. We might have to make that one a 90-minute course.
I was going to say, no, more than likely we're going to run over.
Yeah, we're going to run over. So forewarning you if you sign up for that one. And then in August, we're doing Perplexity. So I know that's a ways off, but just wanted to give you a heads up. And as I mentioned before, also in August, every Monday in August, I'm doing a live or an in-person workshop at the Oregon City Community Center, Pioneer Community Center. This one is really for individuals who have very little to no knowledge about AI. We want to demystify what AI is. And basically, you don't have to be scared of AI, because chances are you're probably already using AI today and you don't even know it. So we have put together this special course And I'm probably going to talk to them to see about making it a hybrid in case you can't come out in person. You can at least listen to it online, but we'll see, and I'll get more out there. And this wasn't supposed to be showing, but it is. We are starting the SkAiL Evolution Academy so that we can, this is kind of a precursor here. We are going to be putting some of these videos that we've been doing online so that you can go back and listen to them later, and that's coming down the pipe. But anyways, go to the AI Clarity Hub and you can find your clarity.
Awesome. Remember what I was just saying about taking your workshops, your PowerPoints, and creating videos out of them?
There you go. Okay, everyone, we're going to sign off because we promised to keep this under an hour. We were actually shooting for 30 minutes today, but we went over, but it's under an hour. So this is Richard Guerrero signing off, and I hope you have a great rest to your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend and enjoy your week, and go play with these tools. Nothing about learning them without messing with them, right?
There you go. Bye.
Bye.